Hello and welcome to Indie Attack today with Kelson and
Woody.
Today we have One After Another by Elisa
Something?
something.
Can you not read my writing?
I cannot read what he's writing. This is okay.
I can't even read my own writing. This is by Alicia something. We don't know what.
Should we
Anyway,
just okay.
this-
We can push. We're just gonna forward
Oh,
ahead.
we're just going ahead.
Okay.
This was made for Asylum Jam, a game jam designed to make horror games that did not make use of like insanity as a trope.
Right.
Kind of like a stigmatization thing, and like, let's make stuff scary without everybody just being crazy.
Right. It's not just it was all a dream endings or whatever.
Well, it's more like, I think it's specifically trying not to stigmatize the mentally ill as being like
I see what
crazy,
you're
horrible
saying.
monster people.
Right.
And asylums aren't like horrible, nasty, mean places. Like, no, they're medical care centers.
Mhm.
And maybe we'll do something more with some of the games from that at some point.
Sure.
I've checked out some. But this is one of the big games.
Yeah, and basically in this game, you're a person navigating a spooky apartment complex, basically.
Yeah, spooky, randomly generated series of hallways.
Exactly, and your goal is to survive. There are sort of, whatever you want to call them, zombie-like creatures, very
Yes.
Ringu status, long-haired,
Yeah.
clawed
I believe
chicks.
they're bleeding.
They're bleeding, they're not doing well, and if you come upon them, they will start chasing you, and then you
You
have
have to hide.
to hide, exactly. And you're ascending an apartment complex, essentially, to get to the top and sort of find the conclusion to
Yes.
the experience.
There are also some other details. You know, there are items in the environment you can hide inside of.
Yeah.
There
Closets.
are mines on the ground.
Yeah,
that will kill
that's
you if you step on them
true.
and you can't see them until you get close.
Mm-hmm.
The lightness level of the various hallways changes, depending. Like, some of them are totally dark and you can't see outside of your immediate visual range.
Right. Some of them there's a light in the middle, some of them the
Yeah.
light's flickering. It's
Yeah.
it all kind of fluctuates. And so I kind of think my feelings on this game is that it's really all about the first playthrough, because in mine, just the way it was happened to be generated, I went through like 6 or 7 screens before I ran into an enemy or had anything. And so it was like really it did really effectively, because you're,
The build up.
the build up, pushing through maps, and you're the one in control of your character, and all you can do really is go forward if you're playing this game, and it does, you get a sense of real tension from that, and yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, really. It's a very short, this is another experiential, bite-sized game, ultimately. It's like, it's not a long game.
And yeah, I believe Asylum Jam was 48 hours, so not a long...
Yeah.
Time to make a game that's understandable.
Absolutely.
Do something, of
Yeah.
epic length.
Things are tempered when we're doing game jams, always.
My experiences with this game are colored a bit by the technical issues I had playing.
You had issues.
I had problems getting it to run. I had problems getting the audio to work properly.
Yeah.
And, it's a little annoying, and maybe it was just my computer kind of a thing, and randomly thing. I know you didn't have any issues, and we both have Windows.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe my computer was just being dumb. But whatever.
Sure. You can't help but that's the experience you
They
had.
were colored a bit by that.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said.
But yeah, it's a bit experiential, and for a procedurally generated or randomly generated kind of a game like this,
Yeah.
they came up with a nice little library of changes that they could make for each room, of the lightness level, whether it has traps, whether it has monsters, what items you can hide in, what the hanging lights are like, if there's a door there.
Totally.
And it's just enough for how long it is that it works.
Yeah, exactly. It fits the mold really well.
Yeah.
And I think it does succeed in being actually spooky. It made me it conjured those things in me, which not all games like this will do.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think I'd say this is like a must play or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stuff here that really caught me and pulled me in. But I don't think it's bad.
Sure,
by any means.
yeah. It's impressive what they were able to do.
It's impressive in the time
yeah,
limit, and it's impressive
yeah.
with the competition and stuff. But outside of the context of the competition, it's probably not something I'd be interested in. Inside the context of the competition, I think it's a really solid entry, though.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one, sometimes in jams, some games will be like, man, this could really be a full release, and I don't know that I necessarily see that in this necessarily, because it is a very simple thing, and it has an ending, that's pretty quick. That being said, who knows? They could expand upon it, and I would recommend it. The first playthrough for me was like, oh, it's solid, and then I ran into an enemy, I died, and I was like, okay, so that's what this game is. And then I was intrigued enough to finish it. So 5 minutes of your time, I think. I'd say
it's worth that.
I would say it is worth 5 minutes at least, sir. And yeah, one after another.